Hey, I'm Queenette Awukam. I'm from Cross River State. I was born into a family of six. My father is a medical doctor, and my mom is a nurse, yes, but also a politician. I was raised by my grandmother, and somehow I caught myself growing up in two different worlds. One was from a very strict, educated father, and my grandmother was more like, you know, she didn't go to school, of course, and she was a farmer, local farmer, and a trader in Econ Park. But I enjoyed spending more time with her, and I just had this humble beginning. You just go to the park, go to the farm. I have a diploma in law, I have a BSc in history and diplomatic studies, and I have a master's in legislative studies. I remember when I was younger, right? My dad would always tell me, do not play with kids in the slum. And for one reason, I found it very strict and prideful of him. I just could not make sense of it, okay? And being that I grew up with a woman, a local farmer and a trader, it just didn't make sense to me. But somehow that actually shaped my mindset. I mean, as a kid, you can afford to play with the kids in the slum. You can afford to, you're innocent until you get older and realize that it could be very detrimental to you. That means whatever you align with would actually eventually affect you, affect your mindset, affect your growth. And yeah, I'm just a girl with so many stories, and I'm so happy to share them with you. Really, so many stories, and I am so glad we are doing this. Okay, first event was, of course, was the upbringing from my grandmom. She's just like the bedrock. She's like the beginning of my upbringing. That was the first person I ever got to know, right? And it was just the simplicity for me. It was just, that shaped my life. Everywhere I go, I know I'm very down to earth, and I'm like an old soul in a young body. And somehow I tend to see things differently from every other person. And I believe that there is depth to everything and everyone you meet. All right? That laid the foundation for me. Secondly, I was molested when I was a little girl. I was barely 8, and I was sexually abused when I was 15, 16, thereabout. And somehow this started a journey, a very traumatic journey for me. From anxiety, I dealt with PTSD for the longest of time. But in the midst of that, what helped me most was my faith. So I was molested at 8. Yes, I think I was in primary 3, right? By my class teacher, by the way. Yeah, it was a tough one for me at 8. First, it was there were always forceful attempts, in class, and most of the time, because he noticed I was isolated for some reason. I equally had issues back at home. It was very easy for me to be trapped in the class alone and, just playing on my own. Really, I've always just been that on my own kid. And from trying to get into my dress, to having me touch his genitals, to telling me things like, you just sinned, let's pray, yeah. So he was just he was just a narcissist. That was it. And it was quite difficult for my mind to understand what was going on at 8. And I grew up blaming myself every day. And because of that, it was quite difficult for me to report because I felt I had sinned, right? And it went on, and it went on for some time until, of course, I got promoted to primary four. It affected my grades in school. I had to go to primary five. I had to go to primary five. My dad had to ask me to, you can't write your common entrance because you're failing in some of your subjects. So go to primary five. And it was, at the point I just got stronger. I just normalized it. But it affected me over time. The one at 15 was just, the one at 15 was just the most annoying of them. First, I was going to take pictures for my yearbook, all right? I was a PRO back in high school. And I was going to take pictures from my yearbook. And from the studio, the photographer had already, oh, you're beautiful and you could be a very good model. And yes, we are taking some pictures. I was just heading back home and some random guy walked up to me. Apparently, he was an actor. And yes, right from when I was a little girl, I'd always had I would always be in a drama club, music club, dance club. And that was just my thing. I'd always been that chick somehow. Somehow it had a way of keeping me sane and together because, I enjoyed them. And so this guy walks up to me, tells me, hi, I'm with some celebrities. Are you a model? I'm like, yes, I'm a model. I was full of excitement. You're 15. And I was like, yeah, I'm a model. And would you love to act? I'm like, sure, I'd love to try. And you're like, yeah, I'm with some celebrities. And out of that excitement, I followed him. Out of that excitement, I followed him. And yes, I saw the celebrities. These were people I would normally watch on TV. So, young, promising, just full of so much. I just had so much dreams and you're like, okay. And I felt in all innocence. I felt, maybe someone saw through me at that point and wanted helping me one way or the other. And so I followed them. I followed them to the hotel. And they were drinking. Some of them were drinking. And he was like, let's go. Come, let me show you to my hotel room. This is hard. This is the first time I would ever talk about this, and I didn't expect I would say it on camera. Yeah, I followed him, right? Because he was like, wow, you look like you would really do well. You really do well. And I literally just sat down with him and he kept talking. I know this person. You could start your career in Lagos. I was just a young teenager in Calabar and it sounded good to me. And yeah, it happened. He turned off the lights and there was nothing I could do. I couldn't fight back. I'd already followed them. I'd already followed him right into his hotel. It would have been avoided. That was the lie I kept telling myself. I kept blaming myself. I would have avoided it. And yeah, it happened, and so I left. And that was the end of me ever thinking I could act. I wasn't even interested any longer. So anything that came forward about acting, God, Queenie, you're so good. You make a really very good actress. I didn't want to hear it. I still don't even want to hear it. And yes, that was it. And these two events totally destroyed my femininity because as early as 8, I'd already started watching pornography. Yeah, earlier the first molestation. I was already exposed to pornography at 10, 11. And I just didn't feel I needed anyone. And At a young teenager, I was already a tomboy. I'd hang out with the boys. I mean, I was cool with the guys, really. They were my G's, and I didn't see any reason why I should be vulnerable with a man. And somehow this two event it just took a lot. I didn't realize how much it took from me um, until my early 20s, and realizing that I could not be in a relationship because I just found it too difficult to be vulnerable. And yeah, it just these are the things that women never talk about, and they eventually get into their homes and pass down the traumas to their children. Afterwards, I moved from Calabar. I came down to Abuja. I started my diploma in law program. And between then, I was doing ushering jobs. I was a professional model now. I did runways. I did editorials. I worked with different brands. I was an usher too. And so for a period of 5 years, then in 2015, I won a beauty pageant, that's Cross River's Most Beautiful Girl. And I just immersed myself in so much work. I was always on a gig. I was always going for trainings, modeling trainings. I was always working. I even interned for a fashion house. I was a sales girl, yes, for a fashion house. And that was a way of me trying to distract myself from the major problem. And 2015, yes, I won the pageant. I hoped that somehow with a crown and, I mean, the money is beginning to roll in, you have a car, all right, you're getting the attention. I hoped that could distract me. But what it did was it just exposed me the most. It just exposed every weakness I had. First, I was that beauty queen that never wanted to show up. Yeah, I was always indoors. I didn't go for red carpet. I didn't go for nothing. I literally just won the crown and went back home. Okay, that was a way of me trying to justify. Would I say justify? No. That was a way of me trying to still feel good, or still feel pretty, or still feel confident enough with myself. And I thought being a beauty queen would just take the pain away. It became worse. It became worse. At 22, 23, I'd already started drinking a lot. I battled with BP. I'd already started smashing bottles. And at 25, I had a full meltdown. So no, and I mean, when you're a beauty queen, everyone coming around most of the time wants something. So it didn't really help me because it really just took me back. So I spent most of my days journaling and listening to very sad songs and indoors, never did go out. I just wasn't interested. And yeah, that was the story. The beauty queen phase was not even good enough for me. No, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. And I got into bad relationships. I kept I kept, I was lost. That's it. At the verge of suicide back in 2000 and I think 2021, 2022. I mean, I'd already attempted before, it just failed. But this last time I meant it. I told God I was done. All right, I was done. I was tired, and I remember him talking to me clearly. The Queen, even if you tried, and you're here for a reason. So, this was birthed from a place of brokenness. It was birthed from a place of pain. It was birthed from a place where I didn't even know the next step I was going to take. Rock bottom, I believe rock bottom is really the place where you truly find yourself, because I was at that point where I thought I had lost it all. There was nothing left. God, I've tried doing it my way. It didn't work. It didn't work. My way didn't work for me at all. And when he gave me this vision, he said, look, Queen, what you're birthing is going to be transformational, and I need you to walk with me. What you're birthing is going to liberate, is going to free other young girls and other women. They would begin to see themselves the way I see them. In all their flaws, they still stand before me blameless. I still love them. I still care for them. And I just picked up a journal, I picked up a pen, and really started writing the vision. I began to write the vision. So part of what I do is I teach identity to young girls. All right? It's easy for you to sway in a world like this, in a world that constantly wants you to conform. It's easy to sway. I'm telling you, it's easy to sway. In a world that they tell you, no, this is it's not trending. This is not trendy. Part of what I do is teaching you authenticity, how to truly own yourself, how to see yourself the way God created you to be. And so, I've been going to different places. We've been organizing women leadership programs. I do the mental health talk, heart-to-heart talk, sister-to-sister, heart-to-heart talk for young girls that have survived gender-based violence, domestic violence, depression, PTSD, and addictions. And that's about it. And so the goal is to go to mostly high schools, all right? Catch them young, because this is a generation that moves really fast, and it's just fair that you start talking to your young girls, or you start talking to young girls or young women as early as you can. Okay, so Queen Mother's Playbook. I had to give it a very nice name, okay, to make it fun. This is going to be the place where you grow, you learn. All right. This is going to be the place where you feel liberated. You feel comfortable to talk about things you've never been comfortable to talk about. We're going to talk about God, life, business, relationship, sex, work, everything that you could possibly think of. This is the show where you literally pour your heart out. Okay. What you can't tell any other person, you can of course trust Queen Mother to give you the right advice. Good judgment. Everything I have learned in my life, experience taught me. I never did have a mentor or anyone to just hold my hands through everything. So, and that could be the hardest way. So I realized the importance of mentorship, and this is where you're going to get proper, real, authentic truth. All right. It's going to be hard, but at the end of the day, you still have to take it. You have to take it. As long as it's going to help you grow, it's going to help you find yourself, find your purpose in life. Yes, that's about it. Hello there. Let's start this journey together. You can follow, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to share your stories and let me know what you think in the comment section. Okay, so Queen Mother's Playbook.